right, quarterback rankings week 2. Let's jump into it. Number 1, we got Josh Allen versus the Raiders. Again, it's recorded on Monday night, so we have not seen Josh Allen play. However, I love the matchup against the Raiders. Regardless of how he plays tonight, I love the matchup. I think it's going to be a good one for him. Make sure he's in your starting lineups when we do the start sets. Number 2 is going to be Justin Herbert at the Titans. Again, I love the matchup. Shootout with the Dolphins. Something I love is the fact that the Titans are struggling against the Saints. This is going to be a game for Justin Herbert to just let it go and just let loose. So he's going to be number 2 for me. Number 3 is going to be Tua at the Patriots. Jalen Hurts did struggle against them. However, when you got receivers like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, after the performances they put up against the Chargers, I expect this to be an even better game for Tua, if not around the same as what he scored fantasy-wise last week. Number 4 is going to be Jalen Hurts versus the Vikings. A little bit of struggle against the Patriots. However, the Vikings struggled against Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. So that being said, I expect Jalen Hurts to have a better game than what he did. Only 157 passing yards in his week 1. I expect that to go up a little bit more. Not crazy. He's never been a massive passer. But I could see him eclipsing about 220, 225. Number 5 is going to be Patrick Mahomes at the Jaguars. He struggled. He did. There was not a receiver that could really help him, and he needs Kelsey bad. Maybe they have a bounce back. We'll see. Anthony Richardson looked good against the Jaguars, so if Patrick Mahomes can do good against the Jaguars with this receiving core, might want to watch out for Patrick Mahomes. Number 6 could be Trevor Lawrence versus the Chiefs. Again, Lawrence did look good against Colts. However, the Colts defense is not as good as the Chiefs defense. I'll be honest. I mean, that's just a fact. Number 7 is going to be Deshaun Watson at the Steelers. Steelers have lost Cam Hayward, their starting defensive lineman, and a big blow to the Steelers defense. Bengals defense could not contain the running game, and if the weather's better than what it was with the Bengals-Browns, I expect Deshaun Watson to be able to sling it. He was able to make some good passes, couple underthrown balls, couple overthrown balls. It's hard to grip a football when it's raining out like it was this past Sunday. So Deshaun Watson at Steelers is going to be number 7 for me. Number 8 is going to be Lamar Jackson at the Bengals. I mean, he did not throw a touchdown against the Texans, but the Bengals defense was not doing good against the Browns. That being said, I expect Lamar to be able to bounce back against the Bengals. This will be a good matchup and one that I can't wait to watch. And then number 9 for me is going to be Joe Burrow versus the Ravens. Again, another guy who struggled in week 1, not able to grip the ball because of the rain in his defense. I expect him to be able to bounce back at home against the Ravens as well. This should be a good matchup. Number 10 is going to be Kirk Cousins at the Eagles. Kirk Cousins had a good game. He did. However, he fumbled and he threw an interception. Got to control those turnovers. If he controls those turnovers, it could have been a totally different game week 1. But the Vikings are 0-1, and Kirk Cousins did not have a bad game. So week 2 against the Eagles, who gave up 20 points against the Patriots, I expect Kirk Cousins to be able to have a bounce back in week 2. Number 11 for me is going to be Anthony Richardson. I never thought I'd see him this high on the list to begin the season this early. The dude played good. He had the rushing ability. He had the throwing ability. He did very, very well. And now he goes up against the Texans in Houston, who did hold Lamar to pretty good standards when it came to passing yards. However, Anthony Richardson looked really good, and I expect him to be able to play really well against the Texans, honestly. Number 12 for me is going to be Brock Purdy. Completely went into Pittsburgh and demolished them, him and Brandon Ayuk. Make sure you go back and watch the wide receiver rankings after this one. But at the Rams, I expect this to be a really good game. Rams, 49ers both had really good games, and I expect that to be another one in week 2. Number 13 is going to be Russell Wilson versus the Commanders. Joshua Dobbs did not have a terrible game, but not one of fantasy viable. In my opinion, I expect Russell Wilson to have a bounce back versus the Commanders, though, in week 2. Jordan Love at the Falcons. This is going to be a really good matchup for Jordan Love. He did very, very well against the Bears. And if he comes out and he goes the same way he did against the Bears and he's all firing on all cylinders, by the way, he had no Watson, no Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs. was his main guy. But that being said, at the Falcons, this is a great matchup for Jordan Love. If he can come out firing on all cylinders again, you could be looking at another 30 years of dominance with this Packers regime. I mean, this is ridiculous how they can just find quarterbacks. Now, I'm not saying that he's as good as Brady or not as good as Rodgers and Favre. But if he can continue to play like he did week 1, look out. Number 15 for me is going to be Jared Goff versus the Seahawks. Jared Goff did really well against against the Chiefs. That being said, it's not going to be a great game against the Chiefs that he had. It was a good one, but it wasn't great. Week 2, after the Rams just did what they did, I expect this to be a really good game for Jared Goff, especially at home. These two always have a good matchup, the Lions and the Seahawks. Number 16 is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Again, we have not seen him play on Monday night as we're recording this. At the Cowboys, though, who better knows Mike McCarthy than Aaron Rodgers? Who? That guy spent years, those guys spent years together in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers at the Cowboys, he's going to be a very good fantasy viable guy. He's not in the top 15, but if you have him, I wouldn't be shying away from starting him in this matchup. Number 17 is going to be C.J. Stroud versus the Colts. He looked good. Threw for over 250 yards, ran for a good amount of yards as well against the Ravens. Only threw 1 touchdown. But, I mean, hey, what do you do? C.J. Stroud's a rookie. He's going to keep bouncing up and keep going further and further with his career. Against the Colts, a good matchup. So that's going to be a good matchup for both quarterbacks in that Week 2 game. Number 18 is going to be Geno Smith at the Lions. Geno Smith did struggle against the Rams. However, again, Tyler Lockett, 2 catches, and went out with a concussion protocol. Did not actually get a concussion. They just kind of took it safe, tested him. He was good from what all reports are right now. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba is coming off a wrist surgery. I didn't expect a whole lot from him. So DK Metcalf's his guy. However, this is another matchup. Like I said, Lions and Seahawks have great matchups. Geno Smith loves these matchups. He's going to be all right in week 2. Number 19 for me is going to be Justin Fields at the Buccaneers. I expect Justin Fields to have a bounce-back game as well in this matchup. The running ability versus what Kirk Cousins had. If you bring the pressure like that, Justin Fields is very elusive in getting out of the pocket. He's going to have some rushing upside in this week, and that's the reason why I like him at number 19 in the rankings. Number 20 is going to be Matthew Stafford for me versus the 49ers. 49ers played really well against the Steelers, but that's Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. Brock Purdy went in there and killed it. However, the 49ers defense is a lot better than what the Seattle Seahawks defense is. But Matthew Stafford is also a veteran. And what he just did with 2 guys that weren't even in the radar for starts other than Van Jefferson, it's pretty damn good. So for that reason, Matthew Stafford will be number 20 for me. And that's going to do it for our quarterback rankings. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow. Make sure you go watch some other videos that we just posted for week 2. Wide receivers should already be out. And then next week, tomorrow, you should be seeing the other 2 videos. And then get ready for the start sit. Make sure you watch those and listen to the explanation on why we feel why they were starting and sitting before you just go ahead and throw them in the matchup. But other than that, you guys have a good one. And we'll see you next week.